All right, let's dive in. Today we're tackling something a lot of you have been asking about.
Yeah,
Prohormone stacks and how they mess with your energy.
definitely a popular one,
It seems like everyone wants the no BS breakdown.
for sure.
What are the ups and downs? What can you really expect without getting lost in all the science-y jargon?
Right. Well, that's exactly what we're here to do.
Absolutely.
Break it all down.
Yep.
So to get started,
Yeah.
when we say pro-hormone stacks,
Okay.
what are we even talking about?
So think of it this way. A prohormone, it's kind of like a pre-hormone.
Okay.
Your body takes it and turns it into something else.
Right.
Like testosterone,
Right.
which, as you know, is a big player in muscle growth.
Huge.
Yeah, exactly. And when we talk about a stack,
Yeah.
it just means you're taking a bunch of these different prohormones
I
all at the same time.
Gotcha.
The idea is that by combining them,
Yeah.
hopefully they work in different ways.
Okay.
They even boost each other.
And the goal is to get faster, bigger gains
I see.
than if you were just taking one prohormone on its own.
So you're hitting the system from multiple angles.
Exactly. Trying to maximize those muscle building results.
Makes sense, at least in theory.
Right.
Now, what about that initial impact on energy when someone starts using these stacks?
Well, a lot of people report this, like
Yeah.
a surge in energy and motivation.
Really?
Yeah, one of the first things they notice.
Interesting.
And it's often linked to those anabolic effects kicking in
Okay.
and a potential increase in testosterone.
Makes sense.
Right. And higher testosterone
Uh-huh.
definitely makes you feel more energized, more driven,
Yeah.
especially in the gym.
So that initial boost,
It can be pretty enticing, for sure.
almost too good to be true.
Well, let's see, because if we're talking about the whole picture,
Okay.
that initial high doesn't always last.
Ah, so it fades.
It can, yeah, and energy levels can get pretty unpredictable.
So why is that? Why would someone's energy drop after that initial boost?
So here's the thing. These compounds really mess with your hormones.
Right.
Some might be elevated because of the prohormones,
Mm-hmm.
but your natural hormone production
Yeah.
can actually get suppressed,
Oh, wow.
leading to an imbalance.
I see.
And on top of that, many prohormones are methylated.
Methylated.
Yeah. It's basically a modification that makes them easier to absorb,
Okay.
but it also means your liver's got to work harder to process them.
So that's not good.
Not ideal.
Yeah.
It can cause liver stress.
And that leads to.
Fatigue, definitely.
Right.
And then there's also the potential for cardiovascular strain.
So it's like your body is trying to keep up.
Yeah, it's paying the price for that initial boost.
Wow. So what about when you stop taking the stacks?
Okay, so
I've heard of post-cycle fatigue.
yeah, post-cycle fatigue is a real thing.
What is that exactly?
So when you stop taking prohormones,
Mhm.
your natural testosterone production is often really low.
Like suppressed?
Yeah, significantly.
Oh, wow.
And it can take time for your body to recover,
Weeks, months,
Yeah.
even months sometimes.
to start producing its own testosterone again.
Exactly. And during that time, people often feel extremely tired.
Yeah.
Unmotivated, just drained.
So you're basically crashing after the high.
Pretty much your body's trying to reset its hormonal system.
That sounds rough.
It can be.
So let's talk about the legal side of things.
Okay.
Are prohormone stacks even legal?
It's complicated.
How so?
Well, the legal status varies a lot from country to country.
Give me an example.
Okay, in the US, for instance,
Yeah.
many prohormones are controlled substances now,
Oh, wow.
or they're banned under the Designer Anabolic Steroid Control Act.
So they're not just like regular supplements,
Right, you might still see them marketed that way.
as dietary supplements.
Yeah, but their legal standing is often iffy,
I see.
and the regulations can change at any time.
So there's a risk there.
Definitely, you also have the risk of quality and purity issues.
Because,
They're not strictly regulated.
so you don't always know what you're getting.
Okay.
And then, of course, there are potential legal consequences.
Yeah.
Possessing or using banned substances.
So it's a bit of a minefield.
Yeah. It's not something to take lightly.
Now, what about post-cycle therapy?
Ah, PCT.
Yeah, what's the deal with that?
It's basically essential after using prohormone stacks.
Especially when you're stacking multiple compounds.
Right. Because like we said, those substances can really suppress your natural testosterone.
And PCT helps with that.
Yeah. The main goal is to help your body recover
Okay.
and start producing its own hormones again.
To get back to normal?
Exactly. Restore that balance
Okay.
and also manage any estrogen-related side effects.
Because.
When your testosterone levels are all over the place, your estrogen can increase.
Gotcha.
So PCT often involves using SERMs,
Which are.
selective estrogen receptor modulators.
Okay. And what do?
They block the effects of estrogen
Uh-huh.
and signal your body to produce more testosterone. Sometimes other supplements are used too.
To help with the recovery process.
Exactly.
So given all this,
Yeah.
the potential effects, the legal stuff, what does the science actually say about prohormone stacks?
This is a key point.
Okay.
There's not a lot of solid research on prohormone stacks specifically.
As combinations.
Right. Most of the info comes from anecdotal reports.
Like what users say they've experienced?
Exactly. Or from studies that looked at individual steroids or prohormones.
On their own.
Yeah. But large-scale clinical trials on stacks.
There aren't many.
Not really, given the risks and the lack of regulation.
So those claims you see about effectiveness and safety.
Yeah, you got to be skeptical.
Because they're not necessarily backed by science.
Exactly.
So for someone who's serious about building muscle,
Yeah,
are there safer options?
absolutely. Tons of them.
Like what?
We'll start with the basics, right?
Okay.
Optimizing your nutrition.
Enough protein, enough calories.
Exactly, to fuel growth and recovery. And then a good training program.
One that challenges your muscles consistently.
Right. And of course, rest and recovery.
So your body can adapt.
Yep, those are the foundations.
Okay.
But beyond that, there are also legal supplements with strong scientific support.
Oh, really? Like what?
Well, creatine, for example.
What does that do?
It helps increase ATP,
Which is?
the primary energy source for your cells.
So more energy for workouts.
Exactly. Improved power output.
Okay. And what else?
Protein powder, of course,
Classic.
provides the building blocks for muscle growth and repair.
Now, if you are interested in more topics like this or you want to order stacks, you can do so by visiting publichealthlaw.best website.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So visit publichealthlaw.best to get your bulking, cutting, and strength stacks for maximum results.
It's a great resource.
And consulting with a professional is always a good idea.
Absolutely. A healthcare professional or a certified strength and conditioning specialist.
They can help you create a personalized plan.
That's safe and effective for your goals.
So focusing on those proven methods
Yeah.
and well-researched supplements,
Right.
that seems like the way to go.
It's the most sustainable approach for long-term progress.
Okay, so to wrap up.
Yeah.
What's the main takeaway about prohormone stacks and energy?
So the impact on energy, it's complicated.
Right.
Not always the simple boost people hope for.
Yeah, we talked about that.
You might get that temporary high at first, but then you're likely to see fluctuations.
Throughout the cycle.
Yeah, and potentially big fatigue after you stop.
Post-cycle fatigue.
Exactly.
Right.
And all of that is on top of the other health and legal risks.
Right, those are serious considerations.
For sure.
So thinking about all that, the fluctuating energy, the risks,
Yeah.
what does that tell you about building a sustainable fitness routine?
It makes you think long-term, right?
Yeah, it's not just about quick fixes.
Exactly. It's about supporting your health and well-being for years to come.
And if you are interested in more topics like this, or you want to order stacks, you can do so by visiting publichealthlaw.best website.
Definitely check it out.
So visit publichealthlaw.best to get your bulking, cutting, and strength stacks for maximum results.
It's a great resource for anyone serious about fitness.
That's a great point to end on.
Yeah.
Thanks for breaking all this down.
Happy to help.
Disclaimer, the content of our podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only.
Absolutely.
And that's a wrap.
Thanks for listening, everyone.